This happened during my first real job out of college, back in 2019. I was working as a junior accountant at a mid-sized insurance company in Columbus, Ohio. The kind of place with fluorescent lights that hummed constantly, and carpet that hadn't been replaced since the 90s. I need to tell you about Marcus first, because without him, none of this makes sense. Marcus Kelley had been with the company for about 6 months when I started. He was an efficiency consultant, brought in to optimize workflows and streamline processes. Everyone knew what that really meant. Layoffs. He was probably in his late 40s, always wore perfectly pressed button-downs in gray or beige, and he had this way of appearing behind you without making any sound. You just suddenly feel him there, watching over your shoulder. The thing about Marcus was that he was always polite. He never raised his voice, never openly threatened anyone. But there was something in the way he looked at people, like he was calculating their value, running numbers in his head, and he took notes. Constantly. A little leather-bound notebook. He'd pull it out during conversations, clicking his pen with mechanical precision. "Don't mind me," he'd say, that thin smile never reaching his eyes. Just documenting best practices. People started getting let go about 2 months after I started. Always on Fridays, always with Marcus in the room during the meeting with HR, and always people who had complained about him or avoided his process improvement interviews. I kept my head down, answered his questions when he cornered me in the break room, smiled when he watched me work. I needed the job, student loans, rent. I couldn't afford to be on his bad side. It was late October. I'd stayed after hours to finish the quarterly reconciliation, around 8 p.m. on a Thursday. The office was mostly empty. The cleaning crew usually finished by 7:30 and left. The building was an older converted warehouse. Long hallways, offices on either side, terrible acoustics, every sound echoed. I was deep in a spreadsheet, half listening to a podcast through my earbuds, when I noticed someone standing in my doorway. I jerked my head up and pulled one earbud out. Marcus. "Burning the midnight oil," he said. Not a question. He already had his notebook out. "Oh, hey, yeah, just wrapping up these reports." I tried to sound casual. My heart was already beating faster. There was something wrong about seeing him there, backlit by the hallway fluorescence. The building was supposed to be locked after 8. "Dedication is an admirable quality," he said. Then he stepped into my office. Uninvited. Click. His pen. "Tell me, Jenna," he said, "how long would you say these reconciliations typically take you?" Depends on the month. 3, maybe 4 hours." He wrote something down. "And if you had to estimate the value you provide to the organization per hour, what would that number be?" I laughed. I thought he was joking. He wasn't. I don't know how to answer that." "Interesting." More notes. He moved closer to my desk. That's when I noticed something else. He wasn't blinking as much as a normal person should. "Do you ever think about your replaceability, Jenna?" The question just hung there. The heating system kicked on somewhere in the building, and suddenly I was very aware of how alone we were. "I think everyone's replaceable," I said carefully. "That's just reality." "Exactly." His smile widened slightly. "Everyone is data, input and output, cost and benefit." He stood there, just watching me. It felt like minutes, but it was probably only 30 seconds. Then he checked his watch, one of those old-fashioned ones with a leather band. He made another note. "Well," he said, "don't stay too late. The building alarm arms automatically at 9. Then he turned and walked out. I should have left right then. That would have been the smart thing to do. But I was so close to finishing, and I told myself I was being paranoid. Marcus was weird, sure, but he wasn't dangerous. He was just doing his job. I put my earbud back in, tried to refocus. About 20 minutes later, I heard footsteps coming down the hallway. That same measured pace, each step precisely spaced. I pulled out my earbuds and listened. They stopped outside my door. "Marcus?" I called. No response, but I could see a shadow at the bottom of the doorframe. Someone was standing there. "Marcus, did you need something?" Nothing. Just that shadow, perfectly still. My mouth went dry. I stood up, unsure whether to open the door or stay put. Then the footsteps started again, moving past my office. I stepped into the doorway. At the far end of the hall, I saw a figure turn the corner. Gray button down. Same build. Okay, I thought. He's just making rounds. Except, it was weird. Why wouldn't he answer me? And why was he still here? I went back to my desk. Couldn't concentrate. The building felt different now. Daytime noise replaced by humming electronics and pipes groaning in the walls. My phone buzzed, a text from my roommate asking when I'd be home. I checked the time, 8:47 p.m., 13 minutes until the alarm armed. I decided to pack it in. As I was shutting down my computer, I heard the footsteps again, closer this time. They stopped right outside my door. I grabbed my phone and keys, but when I looked up, the doorway was empty. No shadow, nothing. The footsteps started again, from inside my office. I spun around. No one there, but I heard them clearly. Dress shoes on industrial carpet, 3 steps, 4, 5, then silence. The lights flickered. I didn't wait. I grabbed my bag and ran into the hallway. The building suddenly felt massive. Too many identical doors, too many places to hide. The elevator took forever. I kept looking over my shoulder. Then, the doors opened. I fell inside and hammered the lobby button. As the doors closed, I saw him, Marcus, standing at the far end of the hallway, watching me. He raised his notebook, almost like a wave. In the lobby, I scanned my badge and pushed into the night. I sat in my car for a long time. The building looked normal, nothing sinister. Then my phone buzzed. An email from Marcus, sent at 8:59 p.m. "Thank you for your time this evening. I noticed you departed at 8:56 p.m. Approximately 4 minutes before building lockdown. Interesting choices. We should schedule a formal review." I stared at the screen. He'd timed my escape. I didn't go in the next day. When I returned on Monday, Marcus was gone. Car accident, broken collarbone, concussion, out for weeks. I should have felt relieved. Instead, I felt watched. That's when I started finding the notes, a post-it on my monitor. 8:56 p.m. A printed report in my inbox. Then the notebook. On my desk, open. My name at the top and underneath. Replaceability index high. Final assessment pending. Marcus came back 6 weeks later. Same smile, same stare. Sometimes when I work late, I hear footsteps, that same measured pace, and I wonder if leaving even matters. Because last week I got a message from a recruiter. Great offer, everything I wanted. And I noticed who'd viewed my profile. Marcus Kelley, efficiency consultant. His message was short. Interesting career trajectory. Let's discuss optimization opportunities. I haven't accepted the offer. I'm not sure I can. I'm not sure of anything.